Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm joined here by Matt Prenevost from Peterson Pacific, Syed Fahad from Mazik Global, and Bob Geiger from STW Technic. Matt has 20 years of experience in the manufacturing industry, including 15 years of service for Peterson. Since February 2016, he's served as their IoT project manager and has led Peterson's digital transformation journey from concept to realization and continues to oversee it today. Syed, as Corporate Vice President at Mazik Global, leads a team of industry thought leaders, innovators, and technologists to drive precision through digital transformation for our customers. And Bob Geiger is the president of STW Technic, a U.S. subsidiary of a German manufacturing company of electronic controllers and sensors for mobile machinery.
Happy to be here.
Thanks, Syed. So over the past couple of years, our team has worked together to successfully bring a complete digital transformation to Peterson Pacific. And the system they're using today has greatly improved their customers' productivity and satisfaction, increased their revenue, and cut costs. It's been a long process, and we've learned a lot from it. And today we're here to share Peterson's story and offer advice for others who are looking to embark on a similar path. I'll be guiding a discussion, so you can ask questions in the chat box throughout, and then we'll address them at the end. So, Matt, could we start out with a little background on Peterson?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Sarah. Peterson's been around since 1981. I started as a small family-owned business manufacturing company, and they built some equipment to fill a particular niche within the forestry industry. And then they were able to kind of grow that with some innovative thoughts and designs, and kind of expanded the business over time. And we got into recycling equipment. We still are primarily in the forestry industry. We're looking in the compost industry. Most of our equipment is large, and we do a lot of grinding, recycling, wood chipping type processes. Equipment is all around the world. We have machines located anywhere from Europe to Australia, South America, and we consider ourselves to be an industry leader in the markets we share, and we're able to do that with a great team, with great manufacturing facilities, and also we try and take advantage of current and technology and adapt them to improve our products to meet our customers' needs. How's that? Does that sound about right?
That's great, thank you.
You bet.
So now, could I ask you what made you start to think about IoT and digital transformation? What drove you to explore this path, and what was your vision when you were starting out?
Yeah, of course. The whole IoT initiative has kind of been growing speed and strength over the last few years. And as I said earlier, at Peterson we really try to be innovative and industry leaders. And as our equipment's evolved, technology-wise, especially with regards to electronics, we started thinking, what can we do? How can we offer assets to our customers to enable them to be successful? I mean, as most all of us would agree, successful customers equals successful business for us. So with the kind of, again, emerging IoT landscape initiative and the ability for our equipment electronically, what can we do? How can we help our customers to do better? So we have quite a bit of data that's available on our equipment. What can we do with it? How can our customers use it? And look at it, review it, and do better there. What advantages is there from a company aspect as far as knowing what our equipment's doing and how it's working, and ways to improve it, from an engineering aspect or manufacturing aspect. So those are kind of the reasons why we went down this path. And we started really going down this path, I'd say, about 3 to 4 years ago. We looked at, kind of came up with our own solution, and there were some problems that came in it. We lacked some of the knowledge and whatnot. So that's kind of how we kind of dove into it.
Right. Okay. So, and how did you find that approach? Or can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you might have faced? I know we hear from a lot of our customers, and see on Gartner, there's a lot of perspective, or a lot of people who start out their IoT projects have a lot of, I guess it's hard to figure out where to begin, and there's a lot of, it's a big risk almost. There's a lot of data on failure points, and I just want to know how you approached that and how you were able to, or what you saw as the path to successfully completing this implementation.
Yeah, okay. I'd be happy to. Like I said, we kind of designed our own simple solution. It was kind of just a simple HTML-based solution that allowed us to graphically display data from the machine. We could see, such things like engine RPM, engine load, things like that. It didn't give us any type of, really analytic or historical type data capabilities. And then obviously we had some issues with trying to come up with the right device in order to safely, securely, and quickly be able to transmit that data somewhere. And then of course receiving it and then doing something with it. And then of course putting that all within a useful user experience and able to access what they need to see. So looking at your slide here, I'd say our challenges related to data. One of my concerns up front was the large amount of data. As an example, one of our machines, currently we can transmit up to about 340 data points. And so that's a lot of data. So my concern was, what can a customer do with it? Obviously, you don't want to overload them with so much data that they kind of struggle with what's of value to them, what they need, what they need to look at. So we kind of tried to key in on some key data points that would be beneficial to our customers. That's kind of our solution for that part of it. And then, as I mentioned before, hardware was a struggle, especially early on. Our application's unique, where we do all our communication via a CAN, also known as J1939 communication on our equipment. So being able to natively use that and get that transmitted out, at that time hardware wasn't really up to the challenge of what we needed and the ability we needed to do. We needed two-way communication, we needed short delivery times. I think the initial modem we initially started with, would only transmit every 5 seconds. Well, if you're trying to map live data, that can cause some concerns. So, and then of course with our solution, our initial one, we were just storing stuff via scripting on servers, and there was going to be some obvious scalability issues there. So, and then of course, as I mentioned before, putting it all together and and wanting to be able to integrate it with our existing systems we have. We use a lot of Microsoft products, so is there a way we can use what we have as far as technology, database, software, leverage off of that with our solution and kind of with a more integrated package.
And I think, it is a big validation of what we are hearing from a lot of our other customers who started up the similar journey, right? It starts small, it seems simple, but as you get involved into more and more, data becomes a major challenge to make sure that you have devised a right platform to pick the data, so you have performance-wise and optimized, and you're able to kind of have a good data platform and planning around it. There's a big, situation we have seen and the issues we have seen around the scalability, that can it work for your one or two items, or will it work for all of your products, and will it deliver to all of your dealerships and all of your solutions? The other aspect which I've seen, and I think in the Peterson case, just because that they have taken a very pragmatic approach towards it, they may not have faced it, but we have seen other places is that where the understanding of the use case or the relevant use case is not picked up, and customer investing a lot into it, realizing that the use case they have picked up will not deliver the real value to whatever the cost is estimated with it, right? So I think that is an important aspect. And the third thing is that insight it has a value, but if it not goes back into your core platform, where those insights could become an action, really is not going to connect the dots very well, right? So having a right integration strategy in place right from the beginning is a core for any IoT implementation happening today. And I think somewhat what Peterson has faced and the similar challenges too in the process.
Yeah, to that side, I would like to agree. Our goal was, just being able to, digest the large amounts of data, reliably get that, transmitted where it needs to go, receive it, and then, like you said, be able to do meaningful things with it, and try and have that be part of it, an integrated solution, and use some of the existing platforms or software that we may have had. I mean, that was kind of my goal for our project, was to really see what we can do and really improve that. And I think we're pretty successsive with that. Working with STW and with Mazik and your team, I think we've really made some successful strides with what we have to offer.
I agree.
Yeah, so let's go through and talk a little bit about the roles that we each have in our partnership. So we can start by talking a little bit more about the gateway from STW. So I think...
Well, before we get to the gateway, one of the things I want to highlight that in the previous slide, where as we get into this comprehensive partnership, right, and I think, Matt, I've worked with Peterson almost 5 years now. We started as a business application partner, but when you bring that specific challenge with the IoT, where we have spent a little bit of time is creating these core 7 pillars, right, that regardless of what we are going to do and who is going to do what task, if you want to follow a journey for a digital transformation, these 7 pillars need to get addressed one way or another, right? That how we are going to make sure that the product which you are trying to make it smart are ready and can be enabled to become smart. So, the CAN bus and all those information is there. Do we have a tool or a gateway which we can use to communicate that information? Do we have a data storage and machine learning or some kind of algorithmic storage place where we can store that data? And do we have a presentation layer where we can have those anomalies, present to you in a more insightful and actionable way? And do we have integration in place which we can connect to, with your business application platform like Dynamics 365 or SAP or Oracle, right? And looking at that bigger platform, one thing we all agree to is that we have to have a comprehensive partnership plan which can address each of those pillars individually or as they grow, right? And I think where we land up with is that Peterson continue to focus on making their product smart and take any help from STW or Mazik to make it happen. STW will take the leadership on getting these gateways connected to Peterson equipment so we can start transporting the data. And then Mazik take a challenging role of bringing everything together in terms of how we are going to bring Azure IoT Suite, how the data is going to transport there, and then how we are going to create some of those machine learning algorithms to be able to deliver you those insights and bring you the actions from there, right? And that's really the core value proposition for this comprehensive partnership was. And together with Microsoft, I think we were able to not only deliver for Peterson, but we are able to create a platform which could help a lot of other customers in the very similar way.
Thanks, Syed. Yeah, Matt, could we hear, do you want to add any of your perspective on those partnerships, or on what value each brought? I know there was some, the gateway process especially, there was a little bit of challenges in that. If you want to talk about the, how the switch at the gateway and why you chose to go with STW. Matt, you might be talking on mute. All right, well, let's go ahead and maybe Bob, can we hear your perspective on the gateway?
Sure. I think Matt may be having a connection problem or something, so yeah, I'll jump in until he can get back on. But
great.
Yeah, so basically, you know, the gateway or edge computer, as it's often called in the IoT world, it's a pretty critical component, and it's very important for it to be a very integrated part of the overall solution, and that's why we've worked closely with Mazik and with Peterson to make sure that everything is well integrated and that there's a kind of a seamless transition between the machine and the gateway and the internet and then to Mazik, all of Mazik's capabilities. You know, STW has been in the mobile machine, off-highway machine vehicle business since 1985. One of the first companies to build controllers for off-highway vehicles, and we've been actually working in the telematics, what used to be called the telematics before IoT became the standard verbiage. We've been working in that area for over 20 years with devices, and so we feel confident that we have the best device really on the market. You know, in particular, that two main capabilities: one, reliability, and two, flexibility. You know, reliability is obviously paramount because you're on very in very challenging environment with vibration, shock, temperatures, rain, sleet, et cetera, et cetera. You've got to have this thing working reliably, and that's certainly always been a very important aspect of the work we do. But it's also important to the role of the device has to be very flexible, being able to communicate over cellular networks, being able to communicate wirelessly, with Wi-Fi, or also with connected Ethernet connections as well. So it's important to have all of those capabilities to provide the maximum amount of flexibility. I know that Peterson is using STW's device for local, for some local access as well, so that they can actually have technicians on the ground near the vehicle, looking at, there's a complete set of software to allow you to, on the edge devices, on the TC3G, to allow you to access data locally, even though most of the solution is over a broader remote. These type of flexibilities are very important and give you a much wider palette of functions to be able to use. And then also knowing the world of CAN, whether it's J1939 or CAN Open or various types of freestyle CAN, knowing that world and being able to do it efficiently and fast and with lots of data at very high speeds is critical, and that's something we've been doing for years and years, and so it's an important part of what we do. Anyway, that's kind of the TC3G also has both the option of either internal or external antennas, which can be very an optimal situation depending on the placement in the vehicle, etc. And I don't know, Matt, have you made it back on? Did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. So yeah, Bob, I'd just like to add a little bit to that. As far as some of the struggles we had earlier with devices, I kind of alluded to earlier in our discussion. I was lucky enough to be introduced to your company actually at ConExpo here earlier this year, and met with some of your sales staff and whatnot, and we're really interested in your product, and it offered some solutions we were struggling with the current hardware we're using. Most notably, as you mentioned, with the Wi-Fi capability. That was really one of our strong requisites for our project overall, was the ability for the local operators that are operating our equipment. And for those that might not be familiar with our equipment, the person actually running the machine's not actually at the machine. They don't have immediate access to the controls. They're usually in some type of support equipment. So being able to connect that operator, using a smartphone, tablets, some type of device that they could have in that support equipment and connect locally to the machine, via LAN, was really important to us. And so far, Bob, your product comes through in shining colors. We have quite a few of them out there, and we have no issues. They all work as you promised, and we're very happy with them.
I'm certainly glad to hear that.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Matt. So, Syed, could we hear from you about the value that Mazik was able to bring?
Sure. I think, as I was mentioning earlier, right, the approach we have taken was that we need to take this journey more like where we can, crawl, walk, and run instead of try to do everything. And that's our experience working with many other customers. And in this particular scenario, what we have done is that we said, so let's just start with the telematics and safety, and then bring some predictive maintenance into it, and overall finally deliver a connected field service approach, right? Where the data which we were able to capture from the sensors and been able to continue to analyze for not only just the reactive kind of support model, but should be able to deliver a proactive or a predictive maintenance model, and been able to deliver through a connected field service, right? So end of the day, if there is an issue identified in a remote region, right, related to a specific pump is not working, or if we figure it out that the normal temperature of the equipment is much higher, we should able to not only report that issue to a dealer or back to Peterson Corporation, but should also be able to create and task an activity into a case management solution like Dynamic CRM, or should be able to translate that information as a spare part requisition, so it works in a complete connected way, right? So that's kind of the high-level approach we have taken, and using Microsoft, the existing investment of Peterson Corporation in Microsoft Dynamics Business Application Platform, we kind of taken that, connected those gateways to Microsoft Azure IoT, and running some of these stream analytics and artificial intelligence to deliver the same solution. And I think, just because that some of the original investment in Dynamics makes our life much more simpler and easier, and Peterson background on using some of those products makes a huge impact in taking that approach and deliver it in a very, very small amount of time.
Great, thank you. So now I think we can show a little bit of the solution to give a better sense of how it works and some of the capabilities. So these screenshots are from the solution Peterson's using today, and I'm just going to go through a couple of the scenarios with Matt, and he can explain how they're using it. So this is the dashboard. Matt, what does the dashboard functionality provide to you from your perspective? see if we still have Matt. He's offline again.
So while he's offline, I can take up. I think what you're seeing on the screen is what Peterson called is their command and control view, where from the single interface, not only they can see how many equipments they have worldwide or in a specific region, and what is the status of their maintenance works is, and if it's fully operational or there is a specific issue we need to deal with, what are the patterns of alert by severity is coming, how many errors or the machines which are throwing certain warnings or alerts. Not only that you can have this command center approach, but you can also see that right from here you can get into your services module and order services and spare parts. You can run many analytics tools. You can dispatch different service tickets and the service field workers to a specific location and deliver with the spare parts they have. You can search different equipment. So it's really a full 360 view of the location and how the Peterson itself or their dealers or individual customer can see it and have a 360 view of their operations and every equipment they're operating today.
Great. Thank you, Syed. So I want to talk next about what you can see from an individual machine perspective.
I think as I mentioned earlier that on the previous screen or the previous view, what we have been focusing on, what is the holistic view of the operation of a specific customer or a specific dealer or Peterson in general. But at the same time, we need to have a specific view about an equipment that, what is the equipment with the serial number they are flowing through, what specific issues that equipment has been producing, and how do we need to kind of alert and generate and make an impact around it. Having a good understanding of what that equipment is, what the model is, and when the warranty is going to get expired, and what are the core services has been performed. And it's just not that the services has been performed in last few days, but it's over the history of that equipment. And that equipment may have moved into different customers and different dealerships, but the idea is that we continue to keep the history of since it's dispatched from the manufacturing side from the first place, and over the last 30 years, the history of everything happened to that equipment, so we know exactly what it is and can be able to kind of provide services based on that.
That's great. And it looks like we have Matt back online.
I'm sorry about that. We're having some weather here, and I must be hampering my connectivity. I sincerely apologize.
No worries at all.
I hope you're not in the path of Maria.
Yeah. Yes, do you want to talk a little bit about the remote display and what that has been able to do for you?
Yeah, the remote display is actually one of the key pieces that I'm really excited about, and this ties back to also using our Wi-Fi capability with the STW gateway enables not only Peterson from a manufacturer's aspect, but our dealers, our customers, can all see the control screen that's on the machine. We emulate that through our portal, and so everyone can look and work together and see the same data as it's flowing from the machine. We can see things as like engine RPM, the status of the machine, and this screen exactly mimics what's on the machine itself. So again, kind of that integrated solution, integrated team working together, to solve problems as they come up, to offer advice, and ways to improve. So being able for everyone to be able in the team to all see the same information is a great feature.
And I think this is a very demanding feature from a lot of other customers too, where many times when you are in this remote assistant mode, and an on-site person or the driver or whoever the operator is trying to explain you what he's seeing on the screen and not able to have the similar view, sometimes take a challenge that the remote person is not able to provide the right assistance. I think these views are really helping customers to kind of engage and improve their field service operations significantly.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that, Syed. It's 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 been a fantastic tool, to be able to have multiple people all looking at the same thing and being able to, solve a problem if that's what we're facing, or offer advice or ways to improve, what they're doing. And again, that's because we can all see the same information at the same time.
And I will agree that, the first time when you present that problem and you ask for this, I was like, I'm not sure, if anyone will ever use that, but you proved me wrong. So I did that.
Well, I appreciate your trust in my vision, and we were able to make it happen. And I would agree, it's actually been very, very beneficial. I mean, our service team, and even our engineering staff, they've been able to go and look at machines and kind of watch them operating and see live kind of what the settings are, and offer advice on how a customer can improve what they're doing. So I'm glad I was able to prove you wrong, Syed.
I'm happy to be wrong.
So my next question is about the data analytics capabilities, because I think we have a lot here. There's a lot to show. If you want to highlight some of this features.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And again, to kind of touch bases back with some of our initial issues. Our initial solution, our internal one we had done, we didn't have the opportunity to do any type of deep dive into analytics type or historical data, being able to see that. So this, really excited about this. And when we were at ConExpo and meeting with customers and talking about our solution, a lot of them were very excited about this. Something as simple as looking at the amount of fuel used for our customers. For our customers, it's that's a key cost for them on a day-to-day basis, is how much fuel they've used. I mean, that's a growing cost and concern. So a customer can look back over the last couple days, few weeks, and really be able to look and see what they've done and what they've used.
Thank you. And then I know a big part of this connected field service part is the custom alerts and using anomaly detection. So if you want to talk about those scenarios and how the system facilitates you with those, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of alluded to that before, having all this data and available, how can we make use of it? And what we've been able to do is we've created alerts. We have some standard alerts, and we can also allow our customers to create custom alerts specific to their needs. On these alerts, we have integrated into our dynamic CRM solution, and so that allows us to do a couple things with alerts. We can first of all let our customers know something's going on. We can let a dealer, if they're within a dealer territory, we can let that dealer know something's going on, as well as our own team, at Peterson. We can use these alerts. We can generate a case using some workflows within CRM, so we can document them, follow up on them, and make sure they've been resolved. And again, all trying to keep our customers up and running and be successful. So the ability to create the custom alerts, if there's specific data points that a customer wants to pay attention to, we've given them opportunity to be able to do that. So really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd finally just like to hear your overall perspective on how the benefits that the solution is bringing to you.
Yeah, I mean it's been quite the journey, as you alluded to and Syed alluded to earlier. We've kind of been working on this here for a bit of time. We've overcome some challenges along the way, and I'm really excited about the solution we have and what we can offer our customers going forward. As I alluded to, we have equipment leaving the factory now with remote monitoring capability, and we're looking at being able to, again, the value for us is the success of our customers. If we can help our customers to be successful, to help improve what they're doing, and maybe find specific areas or even some little things that might help them do better, then for us that's successful. Again, with successful customers, we have a successful business. So I think some of the value for us is we're really excited about and Syed alluded to it earlier with the predictive maintenance and monitoring is trying to not only help our customers but possibly prevent major issues from occurring. If we can see a trend or a pattern, a possible component is ending the end of its life cycle, and if we can be ahead of that and get that fixed or replaced and save our customers and Peterson time and effort, that's great value there. So again, really excited about it, getting it implemented, getting it out there, and really again going back to the core of what Peterson tries to do as far as being innovative and being industry leaders within our market segments. So we're excited, we're happy. STW has been great to work with. Their product has worked great for us, and Mazik as well. And the team approach and to meet and be successful and meet the goals we had in place is exciting. It's an exciting time. I could probably go on for a while, but I'll give Syed a chance to jump in.
No, it is, but I think when remote monitoring, most of the time the first thing comes in mind is what I'm seeing over and over again with many customers, that it of course helps and increase the customer loyalty and customer satisfaction with the predictive this kind of customer services value which we are proposing, but it also make a great impact from the product engineering design standpoint, that you're able to use those insights and been able to deliver a much better product, and the guideline on how product could be is optimized to the best performance. We're seeing a lot of value in the supply chain space, that just having the right insight about how people are using the product, where they are using it, and what the situation with each of your products are, that will help you do a much more effective supply chain management from your spare parts and everything. And the third thing is that it not always comes as a cost to the organization. In many cases, it appears as a new revenue stream line, right? Where you're able to offer those services as a new revenue stream. So net new cost to the organization is lower, but in many cases, it delivers additional revenue back to the organization.
Thanks, Syed, and thanks, Matt. So I'm going to wrap up, and then I'm going to open up the floor for some questions.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. So now that we've put together this platform, a lot of these pieces that comprise the digital transformation architecture exist today, and Mazik sees our job as helping everyone connect them and help you successfully adopt digital transformation faster than you might expect. So an example is that customers who already have an STW gateway connected to their equipment can use Mazik Things and configure it within 6 weeks to start seeing some value from their data. So we have a strong team of experts from Mazik, STW, and Microsoft, and we can offer you, you can download a trial of our app from Mazik, from Microsoft App Store, and we can also give you a digital transformation assessment workshop and help you define those business scenarios where that can really help you generate the value.
I think the key is that as we are deploying the similar solution to many other customers, we are able to identify a pattern where working with STW gateways and customer in the similar background working on a canvas or something, implementing and bringing their journey of digital transformation could become as easy as the 6-week POC to start with, right? So if you are an industrial equipment manufacturer and you're ready to or looking for for a gateway with STW and Mazik thing, we can bring your digital transformation to life in literally in 6 weeks. I know Peterson, I know Ms. Matt, you need to go through a lot to get to the level, but I'm sure that next all of your equipments are going to get live much faster too. This is the value of the team effort and the partnership we were able to establish, right? That not only that we were able to assist great, and you can hear from Matt why, is that not only that we were able to assist Matt and Peterson Corporation significantly, but that partnership can deliver to many other customers in a very, very effective way.
Thank you. So you can contact me to schedule a free digital transformation assessment, and I will send out these slides later. I have included some links for resources on Peterson and Mazik, Microsoft, and STW. So now I'm just going to open up the floor for some questions. We've gotten a couple throughout the session. The first one here, how often do you receive data and how often is it transmitted?
I'll take that, Sarah, if you'd like. So, like I said, originally what we struggled with is we were only able to send data out in 5-second intervals. Currently, we are at 1 second. And again, so we are transmitting. For us, there's some data points we don't need to see every second, so we have the flexibility on the back end to customize, what we send and how often we send it. So from the large level, when we're looking at it across the board, we slow it down just to save on data rates. But when we dive in and look at a specific machine, we're basically transmitting that live at a kind of a 1 second, if not slightly quicker interval.
Yeah, and I think what we have done is with Mazik relationship, machine relationship management, we are able to create and provide option to the customer to be able to define for each individual data element level that what the speed or how often do we need to transfer that information, how often do we need to store it, and should we be only focusing on anomalies or should we be storing everything from scratch? So it's really means designed and it's configurable by user. And the great thing is that STW offer us that capability to manage the data packaging at that level. Bob, do you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say that there's really no, kind of limit to the, either the sample times or the number of parameters that you can send, or variables you can send. Obviously there are limits. You can't do 15,000 variables every millisecond, but there's no built-in. You can only do this many variables, or you can do this many. This often. It's really a lot. Designed such that you can do what makes sense for you within the natural constraints of the processor speed and the data plan that you have, or the data network that you have. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, and we've allowed, we've integrated with Mazik things in such a way that it allows you to configure that easily to do what you need to do.
Yeah, and I'd just chime in, and I would agree with that as well, and appreciate the clarification. Yeah, I mean we're able to customize it to suit our needs, but again, it might be different for someone else. So having that capability is a good point. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Next question. I think this is probably also for Matt and maybe Syed. How did Microsoft Azure help you in your journey?
I'll jump in first, Syed, and then you. How about if you can correct me if I go astray here? How about that?
Sure, sure.
So I think for us, I just wanted to touch on we went with Azure as it was a logical transition complement to what we already had. We had Microsoft Dynamics products in place in our facility, and earlier in the presentation, I talked about integration, being able to integrate with our existing systems. So the two key primary things were our ERP system, which we use Dynamics AX, and then our customer management software, which we use Dynamics CRM. So having those two in place and being able to efficiently integrate and communicate with those and leverage off of those really pushed us towards Azure. That was just a logical kind of evolution for us. Syed could probably answer into more of the particulars, but from our perspective,
I think the way I look at it, and it's more about time to value, and it's an effectiveness in what we are doing. But for us, Azure IoT Suite simplified all. Instead of we kind of have or work with many different data lakes and try to work through what it is, and then try to work through how the machine learning is going to get applied, and how we're going to do the connectivity, and how we were going to expose the information and everything. By using Azure IoT Suites within Mazik things, help us simplify and automate the whole process in a very effective way. And then Azure gives us the scalability, what we all wanted right from the beginning, that in the beginning we have 5 machines, but on the overall, we're moving up to 5,000 equipments worldwide to start pushing all the information. And just having Azure in the background give us the confidence from the scalability standpoint.
Awesome. What security is implemented on the device and on the data transmitted?
Well, I'll start off mentioning that. So basically, all of the data is sent with with secure sockets layer, so that it's encrypted, and so that is pretty much industry standard across the internet. As far as the device itself, again, there's really no way to get access to the device other than through Mazik. All other ways to get in are shut down, and then it's also up to Peterson if they want to open up other paths in, but there are lots of secure mechanisms to allow them to do that if they want to for accessing other aspects of the device.
Yeah, I think in overall what we have done is not only from the gateway itself security and how the data is going to protect it, but just by using Azure, we are leveraging all of the core cybersecurity features within Azure to deliver a very, very secure and robust platform.
Okay. Can you integrate unique machine communication interfaces, such as a proprietary or unique machine protocol?
Yes. So yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was just going to mention we have done, and I assume when we're talking about machine interfaces, we're talking about for the vehicle, to interface into the vehicle's data system. And if we have added other things such as the Modbus, CAN open, in addition to J1939 and CAN. as the industry moves forward to other protocols. I mean, right now, a lot of the great majority of the data on any vehicle, any mobile machine is going to be CAN based. But as as new protocols begin to emerge and become used, in particular, Ethernet potentially as a protocol on a machine, or other types of fast CAN protocols, then we will add those capabilities to the device. I mean, that's our business, so we will definitely keep up to date for all of those protocols. But I think there's also, for anyone who has unique capability or a unique need, we can certainly add that if that's required.
I agree. I wish we have already have a unified IoT data protocol platform, so everyone is trying to go after the similar protocols, but I think it's going to take a little time there. So what we have done is we kind of allow and build a configurator tool within Mazik thing to be able to read different protocols and been able to help customers configure it as those new protocols are appearing without doing actual development effort.
Thank you. All right, I think we can end on this last question from Matt. But what advice would you have for someone else starting out in a similar situation?
Yeah, I would think, if I kind of give the example of what we did as far as at Peterson, this project, we really try to clearly define our requirements up front. I would say we wanted to have a clear path in place of what it is we wanted to do, what we wanted to accomplish, and then obviously proceed forward and look at partners that could help accomplish that goal. I think one of the successes we've seen is really having a clearly defined path of where it is we wanted to end up. Hopefully that kind of helps.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I would think, and also I'd probably add to that too, as far as from the mobile equipment aspect. One of our big struggles was the gateway solution. So from my experience, I'd say that was a key component for us to be able to enable to do all the things we wanted to do. So again, STW for us was that solution, and we're happy with that. But that aspect for us was a struggle. So I'd say that's something definitely you'd want to get ironed out up front and have a reliable solution in place.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think what we have done with the integration between the Azure IoT Mazik thing and STW, that will deliver a lot of immediate solution to many of the customers in the similar situation. But what I always suggest to the customers are that identify a specific use case, understand that what the total cost of ownership is going to be, what the long-term value and what is the long-term cost associated with it, and been able to kind of guide it to the right understanding of the value is very, very important, right? And if you have the right use case identified, then you will be able to get value. Many customers I've seen that not able to achieve their financial objective just because that either they pick up the use case wrong or they were not able to identify the long-term cost associated with it.
Yep, yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good point. Thank you, Syed.
All right.
Okay, I think we can go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Thank you, Syed and Bob and Matt, especially. I will send out the recording after this, as well as the slide deck. And don't forget, you can contact me to set up a digital transformation workshop. My email will be in the slides.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt, and Bob, thanks a lot for joining the call.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Goodbye.